As soon as you take a breath, let me know when you're ready. Okay. All right. I'd like to bring the meeting to order for the Queen Anne's County Planning Commission on Thursday, January 9th, 2025. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public comments? And if it has to do with a particular project that's on our agenda, you need to hold those comments until we get to that project. There being none. No extension request. Oh, election of officers.
I'd like to nominate Sharon Dobson to continue on as chairman.
We have a second.
Second.
Any other? How about we need a vice chair?
Do you want to do a slate or
We can do a slate.
like chair, vice chair, secretary? No, secretary.
I'd nominate Tom Lee to be vice chair.
Second.
And who's secretary now? And Kathy Dew is the secretary.
Second. Okay. Any other?
John. I'd nominate John Shelton for clerk. Second.
Second.
Any other? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You opposed, Mr. Tillman?
I think it was an aye.
Yes, I am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I believe we
Can
have.
get clarity on that, Mr. Tillman? What
Yeah.
was your vote? Were you an aye or a nay?
I'm an aye.
There we go.
Okay.
That's unanimous.
Surprise. Okay. Updates, legislation and legal matters. Can we do something with this heat?
I'm trying to get between people getting out of a ditch.
We're breeding germs at the moment.
It's a little warm.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Amy Mordock, Planning Director. I have a few brief updates. I know we have a really long agenda, so I won't go into too much detail. Last month I missed the meeting because I was attending Winter Mako, and I just want to give you some exciting news about Winter Mako. Queen Anne's County featured prominently. Our County Commissioner, Jack Wilson, will now serve as the president of Mako, starting at the Winter Conference 2024 into the year of 2025. Very excited to work under his leadership with Mako. He is dedicated to strengthening collaborations between counties, to work across political lines, which is going to be extremely important during this legislative session. So I think his term is very well timed for the state and for Queen Anne's County. But in other exciting news, a very well-deserved nod to our warden, Lamont Cook. He was honored by Mako for all of his years of service, over 50 years of involvement with Mako. Every year there is an award granted. It's called the Mako County Professional Recognition Award. And it's an award that is given to a county representative who has accomplished a lot of goals and worked with Mako to collaborate. And this year and moving forward, that award will be named the Lamont Cook County Service Award. So that's a wonderful honor. It's a wonderful honor for anyone who receives the award to be affiliated with Lamont Cook. And this year, the first award winner was Shelley Heller, who is the county administrator in Kent County, and they just so happened to be neighbors, so it was pretty nice. So Mako was very good this year. There was a focus on the upcoming legislative session, which has now begun. And the message that we heard loud and clear, and we already know, will be that there will be a lot of land use focus. So there are some draft bills that have already dropped. I won't go into great detail about those, but I will be keeping you up to date. There are a lot of bills focused on housing, solar, transmission line siting, data centers, and of course solar. I've seen some draft language to further regulate short-term rentals, but everything is in draft formation. I don't know where they'll land, but one thing I do know is that there is a lot of language that is already focused on preempting local zoning. So this is something that the Mako Planners Affiliate will be directly involved in, and I will be keeping you up to date. You may hear about a bill that is moving forward through Secretary Flora of the Maryland Department of Planning. This bill is positive. She is proposing to update our 12 visions that we're required to address in our comprehensive plan by modernizing them, streamlining them, and renaming them into the 8 planning principles rather than the 12 visions. So there was some talk about what that really means, but in my opinion, that's a positive update to streamline those visions. Otherwise, I have a couple of personnel announcements, and the first is that Associate Planner Doug Summers has been promoted to the position of County Planner. He's been with us almost 3 years and has been an invaluable member of the team since he's begun. One of his strengths is environmental planning review, and we're going to kind of bake that assignment into his promotion so that he'll be liaising with other departments and making sure that the environmental planning reviews are coordinated. And also, on the 28th of January, I'll be giving a departmental update before the county commissioners. And this year, I will be featuring our citizen self-service portal planning team, which is comprised of members of staff on the planning and zoning end. Our online building permit portal went live on the 21st of October, and that team worked very hard to establish the portal and work out any quirks before we went live, and really it's been going very smoothly. Obviously there are always snags with a new system, but the team working on the system has expertly navigated and corrected any of the problems. Citizens can register for accounts and see all of their permitting information, can submit permits online. A lot of people still like to come into the office for customer service, face-to-face applications, but there is an option to completely submit online, and that's been going very well. So our
How many have you had?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, several or
Oh, no.
A handful or-
Probably at least 100 or more, yeah.
oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
no, it's rolling. It's not as fulsome as I know it will be eventually as more and more people
If
learn
and when
about
we
it.
can start building again.
Yeah, and have experience, yes. But anyway, that staff will be featured at that meeting, so if you want to tune in and learn a little about, they're putting a presentation together with statistics to share with the county commissioners, and so they've done a wonderful job and deserve that recognition. So it's been a long time coming. That's all I have. The 28th of January. Well, I think we're on the agenda at 5:45.
Mr. Summers, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, public hearings. Any public comment? Let's start with the concept plan for Bylaw Materials LLC.
So first, Madam Chair, if I could read the public hearing notice
Oh,
into the
okay.
record.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So the county file reflects that the property was posted and the public hearing was duly advertised on December 27th and January 3rd in the Record Observer and Bay Times, notifying the public of the time and location of the hearing and a summary of the application, a copy of which notice is included in the county file.
Byler Materials LLC. Mr. Johnson. Good morning.
You want us up here yet, or?
You can come up and sit down, and Mr. Johnson will give his presentation first.
Good morning, Happy New Year. Steve Johnson, Planning and Zoning. As stated, we're here to discuss project SP 24-04-0125 for Byler Materials, who's proposing a 19-acre expansion of an existing major extraction operation and is requesting concept plan approval and favorable recommendations to the Board of Appeals. Project's located northeast of Ingleside, just south of Barkley. More specifically, tax map 31, parcel 44, tract 1, totals 348.343 acres and is located at 2251 Goldsboro Road in Barkley. In December, the operation received its annual inspection and was found to be in compliance with no violations. Property zone agricultural, major extraction is a conditional use in the ag zoning district. Here's a look at the concept plan. Access is taken via Merritt Corner Road, shown here circled in yellow. The LOD for the project, total LOD for the project is 119.865 acres. This includes areas of previous approvals and the 19-acre expansion area shown here in dashed red. The applicant is proposing a total of 12.10 acres of impervious and no new floor area. The operation will continue to comply with all required mining setbacks, and existing haul and access roads will be utilized. There's no new water and sewer proposed for the expansion, and 1,956,227 cubic yards of material will be removed in 5.7 years as part of this operation. That equates to an annual material removal rate of 343,200 cubic yards. And the finished depth of this mine will be 70 feet. Property is not within the critical area or 100-year floodplain. There are no erosion hazard streams, wetlands, or threatened or endangered species on site. There are 41.08 acres of woodlands on site, of which the applicant will clear 1.44 acres, shown here in the hatched brown and white that you see on your screens, a little really thin line. That is the existing vegetative screening buffer for the existing operation. And all operations of this sort are exempt from forest conservation. Again, the existing evergreen screening buffer will be removed. You can see it in the background of the picture on the left. The applicant is proposing no new buffer at this time, as the western boundary of the expansion is over 2,400 feet from Route 313 and is not easily visible. And the applicant also intends to make application for a larger Phase 5 expansion within 12 months, which will include the construction of berms along the property lines. The pictures that I'm going to show in the next few slides are from a visual impact exhibit that was provided in your packets. This first picture on the left here shows that the dredge that they're utilizing to pull material out will be below grade and not visible. The next three pictures are taken from the western side of Route 313. This picture is approximately 2,400 feet from the expansion area. This is approximately 2,400 feet as well from the expansion area. And this is 2,700 feet from the expansion area. If you look kind of just above the field there, you can see the small evergreens in front of the larger trees. That is the visual screening buffer that will go away. The applicant is proposing no changes in the hours of operation. I'm not going to go through these. This was pulled directly from the site plan and was laid out in the staff report. They have provided a sound study which indicates that daytime noise levels will be met and nighttime will be met subject to standoff distances outlined in the report and at the staff report. There is a condition at the end of the staff report regarding this requirement. Trucks will continue to utilize the existing haul route, which consists of Merritt Corner Road and Maryland Route 313. It's shown here in dashed black. The Department of Public Works and State Highway have offered no objection to the approval of the project. And finally, the end use for the operation will be a 90.47 acre pond with a residence. And with that, I will try to answer any questions or turn it over to the applicant.
How much nighttime work do they do?
A couple hours, 2 hours in the morning.
Hours, roughly. And it's just a dredge operation, not loading and trucks and things of that nature, just a dredge operating the plant.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay.
Madam Chair, Stephen Meehan for Merrick Farm and Byler Materials. I just want to introduce Jonathan Byler. We have Sean Callahan here from Lane Engineering to take any questions, if you all have any questions. Sean, why don't you come on up? And also Chad Walters is here from Merrick, along with Al Scott, who's the facility manager.
Okay.
Sean, why don't you just provide a quick overview and then take any questions?
Commissioners, Steve told you what the project is. It's a minor expansion, 19 acres there outlined in red. There is a larger project that we had submitted to the county, which involves, a lot more to talk about. This is sort of a stopgap measure while we work out other matters on the property for the larger project. The project's been there for 20 years, started in 2005, grown, successful. Good material. If you're inclined to approve it, that'd be great. We'll be back to see you with a larger project. The ordinance does require screening. We are removing an existing hedgerow, which was planted by the applicant, years and years ago for the larger project. But it's so far from 313 to the project, you can't see it. While you got two-way traffic, you can't really crank your head around and look and try to see what's going on half a mile away because there's nothing to see. So we'd like you to approve it as submitted, and we'll be back to see you, in months to come on a larger project. Thank you. Mr. Callahan, the idea is to then replace that screen if indeed you get the approval expansion for the next phase, the larger phase, correct? It is. There will be berms and planting along 313 as part of the larger project.
What's on the eastern side? A lot of these references are coming from 313. Is there a buffer on that eastern edge?
Yeah, Ingleside Road, there's an existing forested buffer along the entire property line, and you can't see into it from that side.
Any questions? Can I get a proposal or a resolution?
Make sure you check on Mr. Tillman, too.
Oh, Ben, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
We also need to open for public comment.
Yeah, public comments next. Any public comment? Okay, there being none, can I get a resolution?
Yes. Madam Chair, be it resolved that the Planning Commission regarding the request by Byler Materials LLC for concept plan approval for a 19-acre expansion of an existing major extraction operation in the agricultural zoning district, which is more particularly described in Planning and Zoning File SP number 24-04-0125, hereby finds the concept plan is consistent with the goals and objectives of the Queen Anne's County 2022 Comprehensive Plan. The concept plan is consistent with the Queen Anne's County zoning and subdivision regulation, and hereby grants concept plan approval subject to the following conditions. Proper controls and methods are maintained to minimize truck mud tracking or dust plumes and dry times with wind drift suppression. The facilities continue to be adequately designed and maintained to free dirt and debris from the wheels and undercarriage of trucks prior to entering Merrick Corner Road. All Soil Conservation District approvals are maintained. The hours of operation will be consistent with the approval of conditional use case number BOA-19-10 10-0049. Any changes require additional approvals. Haul truck shall adhere to the approved haul route as discussed and presented. The use of the dredge, loader, haul truck, and excavator during nighttime hours must adhere to the standoff distances outlined in the staff report and in the sound study dated December 6, 2024. Material storage piles cannot exceed 45 feet in height. The applicant submits as-built updates to the Board of Appeals and Department of Planning and Zoning yearly on the anniversary of Board Appeal approvals or on a schedule determined by the Board of Appeals. The applicant agrees to an annual inspection. All state permits are in place prior to final permitting by Queen Anne's County. Any legal documents are reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission attorney. Any future mining phases or changes to the end-use plan must return to the Planning Commission for a recommendation to the Board of Approvals for an amendment to the conditional use. Any and all. I did, a Board of Appeals, I didn't say that, okay. Board of Appeals for an amendment to the conditional use. Any and all financial sureties for reclamation, landscaping, stormwater management, and enforcement, et cetera, are in place before final permits are granted. There shall be no truck parking on Merrick Farm Road, no stacking or parking outside of the gate, no jake brakes, and no tailgate slamming either on-site or on the public road. The applicant shall post a sign with a notice regarding these restrictions. Any requirements by the Queen Anne's County Roads Department must be satisfactorily addressed. If the applicant fails to submit an application to the Department of Planning and Zoning for the Phase 5 expansion within 12 months of approval, densely planted evergreen trees must be installed in accordance with 18-1-95E8D along the western boundary of the LOD to provide screening. The vegetation shall be maintained to ensure the plantings remain alive and healthy during the operation period. The application shall provide a cash deposit, surety, bond, or letter of credit for the landscaping. Any outstanding documentation or comments stemming from agency reviews are addressed prior to the Board of Appeals submittal. So I think that we'll do that one and then the other.
Right, do I have a second?
Second.
During your discussion, because 18-1-95E contemplates the plan showing a proposed tree or berm screen location, and in this instance, they are removing the tree screen, have some discussion on why you find it appropriate for this project, or why you find it appropriate that they wouldn't need to add a screen, a tree screen.
Because it's far enough away from the main road, and because they plan on doing it when they come for their next expansion.
Yep. That would be sufficient.
Okay. Any more discussion? Any questions? Can I get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Got it. So moved.
Okay, and then we're gonna move on. Be it resolved that the Planning Commission regarding the request by Byler Materials LLC for a 19-acre expansion of an existing major extraction operation in the agricultural zoning district, which is more particularly described in Planning and Zoning File SP 24-04-0125, hereby forwards a favorable recommendation to the Board of Appeals under sections 18-114.c7 and 18-1-95E.
Any discussion? All in, pardon?
Second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean, I'll reach out to you later today.
Major site plan for Bay Bridge
Is
Marina.
that just on the whole time? Or is that off? Oh,
I'll reach out, Sean.
okay, great, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ready for me?
Happy New Year.
Are you again?
Me again.
Okay,
He's a
Good
busy
to see a
man.
lot of me in the next couple months.
good, go for it.
All right, thank you. Again, I'm Steve Johnson, Senior Planner of Planning and Zoning. We're here to discuss SP 24-07-0129 for Bay Bridge Marina LLLP, who is proposing to construct 14 duplex buildings totaling 28 dwelling units, and is requesting major site plan approval. A lot of this information may look very familiar to you, as two other portions of this project were on the agenda last month. So I'll get right into it. Project's located on Kent Island, south of Route 50, just to the southeast of the Bay Bridge. It's the first thing you see on the right as you're coming into Queen Anne's County from the western shore. More specifically, tax map 56, parcel 273, lots D1 through D28, which are shown here in blue, highlighted in yellow, are located at the end of Pier 1 Road and total 2.649 acres. Property zone airport protection in Kent Island Gateway. It's also located in the Chester-Stevensville growth area, the enterprise zone, and the priority funding area. The maximum residential density is 15% of the slips in the adjacent marina, which equates to 36 units. The applicant is proposing 28 units, again totaling 2.649 acres. Each of those units will have a permanent use of a slip. Per 18-1-108C, the project is required to address moderately priced dwelling units. Currently, the applicant will comply by providing fee in lieu of construction of the 3 required units. All APKIG dimensional and bulk standards are met with this proposal. The applicant is proposing a total of 1.79 acres of impervious. All 56 required parking spaces have been provided. There is additional parking available within the garages. This is a component of a unified development plan. Therefore, the additional parking spaces may not be used to meet surrounding non-residential use parking requirements. Sewer and water allocation was granted for the project on April 23rd of 24. Adequate public facilities for the project exist, subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant purchase all required water and sewer allocation and construct all necessary water and sewer infrastructure improvements. 2, pay all required impact fees. And 3, satisfactorily address outstanding comments for the site plan and subdivision review. The airport manager has supported the approval of this project, as there has been a determination made of no hazard to air navigation. Public amenities are provided for the residents of these duplexes. Consists of the concrete walkway along the marina, sidewalks, benches, dog waste containers, bike racks, and the statue there. Required landscaping is also a component of the Unified Development Plan. It does meet all Chapter 18 landscape requirements. Property is also located within the 100-year floodplain and must comply with